So now we have the prices revealed for the Indomitus models, and my word are they a bit expensive. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today we're looking at the Honoured of the Chapter and the Necrons Royal Court. Now we know the final prices from Games Workshop. For those that haven't seen the release already, these are basically some repackaged sprues from Indomitus, containing a whole load of unique sculpts that aren't available anywhere else. There's some interesting ones here, such as the Blade Guard Ancient, the Judicia, and for the Necrons, the Scorpate Lord, Plasmancer, and Canoptic Reanimator. I believe that they're only on the Warhammer web store. I don't think that they're going to go to independent retailers as far as I know, though please correct me if I'm wrong. And that does have a bit of a downside, meaning that you can only get them through Games Workshop, so no discounts that you can usually get from independent retailers like Element Games. So anyway, let's talk through the contents and how valuable they are compared with how much they're charging for them. So first up we have the Honoured of the Chapter box. That's £89, $140 or 110 euros. To be honest, I do quite like the unit mix. Both Blade Guard Veterans and Eradicators are actually really useful, usable units in the Marines. Chaplains are pretty powerful at the moment. That Judicia is a really cool model. Perhaps really the Blade Guard Ancient is the only slightly underwhelming one, though even he's useful in some armies like Deathwing. In terms of the value of these models, if we just directly translated them to Games Workshop's prices, usually characters go for £22.50. And of course we have the prices for the full multi-part Eradicators and Blade Guard kit. So if we compare directly to those, then we get around about £130 or $205 value, and theoretically a 30% discount. However, I still don't think that this kit is a very good deal at all. It's just really character heavy, 3 different characters make up a ton of that value, and I personally feel that Games Workshop's character models are really quite overpriced to start with. You're only getting one miniature, and often they charge you as much as they'd charge for an entire squad of miniatures elsewhere. Also, for the actual squads that you get, the Eradicators and the Blade Guard, they're monopose models. You don't get the extra customizability from the Blade Guard kit, and you don't get the extra weapon options from the Eradicators, such as multi-melters. Also, with any big combined kit like this, it's not really all that likely that you'd want literally every single model here, even if you might have good uses for a bunch of them. Perhaps if it was more miniatures or vehicles and less characters, I'd be a bit more convinced, but I'll admit I was hoping for a far cheaper box than this. It's the vast majority of the price of an entire box of Indomitus, so this is always going to look terrible by comparison, and people will be comparing to that. Not really all that helpful if people did want certain of the miniatures, such as that Judicia. Unfortunately though, it does look like the Space Marines get off pretty lightly compared with the Necron Royal Court. If the Marine box was a bit higher than I expected, then this one is a lot higher. The Necron Royal Court costs £68, $110 or 85 euros. The units are really quite scattergun and niche, and their only real relation is that they share a sprue in the box. You get a Scorpate Lord, a Plasmancer and 2 Cryptothralls, and the Canoptic Reanimator. The rough price if they were sold separately is a bit harder to determine. If we're generous and we price the Reanimator at the same cost as the much bigger Doomstalker, and if we pay the cost of a largish character for the Lord and the Plasmancer and Cryptothralls, then I'd still only estimate that the box will be around £75 to £85 or $125 to $140. I don't know exactly what they're valuing so much more here, but it looks like only around a 17% discount to me, much worse than the Space Marine one. On top of that, of course it has far fewer miniatures than the Space Marine version. The units are even fairly cheap in game, so you're not even getting loads of points on the board, and a couple of the units just are really quite underwhelming in the Necron Codex. The Cryptothralls are good, the Scorpate Lord is sort of decent, and the Reanimator and the Plasmancer just kind of aren't worth the points in my opinion. I honestly can't imagine that they're going to sell very many of these or the Space Marine one. Currently, if you do want these miniatures, then I can't stress enough about how much better buying them second hand would be, or trying to get your hands on a copy of the actual Indomitus box. eBay does vary a bit around the world, but in the UK at least, the Reanimator is only £8, the Plasmancer can be had for just £3.50, and even a relatively sought after model such as the Judicia is only £13. If you can order off eBay, there's not really a lot of sense in buying these from Games Workshop right now. Of course, the second-hand market will gradually dry up over a decent amount of time, but I imagine it's going to beat these boxes by a long way for quite some time to come. The other option is actually to find yourself a copy of the Indomitus box. As we all know, Games Workshop sold an absolute ton of these, and then they did an entire second printing run, meaning that they're actually still in stock in quite a few places and online. Currently, if you do still want a box of Indomitus in the UK, then Element Games still has some. They are being sold still at full RRP, unlike most of their Warhammer products, but even at £125 as you would have got it from Games Workshop, it remains one of the best value products that Games Workshop has ever sold. Basically, eBay or third-party retailers are your friends here. So let me know what you think of the boxes. I must say I'm a bit disappointed myself. Games Workshop really could have gone down the route of making these good value ways to help get into Space Marines. They just don't seem to be following the same sort of pattern as pricing these monopose sprues cheaply anymore. Not the best news for us as consumers. If you found the video useful, feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics. I do tend to try and keep up with Games Workshop's releases as they come out. Finally, I would just like to mention that Element Games affiliate link again. It's down in the video description below, and it is one of the things that helps support the channel and keep these videos coming. If you click on the link and buy literally anything from Element Games, a small amount goes to help support the channel, and it doesn't cost you any more when you buy things. They do Warhammer products at a discount, and I've always had good service from them. Quite cool that they're one of the last places to have Indomitus in stock as well. In any case, a really big thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.